Is here. The Board of Commissioners of the City of Mount Juliet will have a public hearing concerning the following on second and final reading. We've got 4 items here. I'll read them in. Amend the fiscal year 2020, 21-22 budget for FEMA and TEMA funds. Out of city sewer service for 2770 Nonneville Road. Rezone 45 East Caldwell to Commercial Town Center, CTC, and clarification of city holidays. If anybody would like to make a comment to the Board of Commissioners on these 4 items and these 4 items only, I ask you to come forward and give your name and address for the record. I see some. Yes.
Lance Harrington. I'm the owner of 45 East Caldwell, and I also live there too. So I'm here to represent our property.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you, sir. All right. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and we will adjourn. We'll reconvene at 6:30 for our regular scheduled meeting. Okay, we're about to start the meeting here in about a minute. Good evening, everyone. It's Mount Juliet Board of Commissioners for our regular scheduled meeting on April 11th. At this point, I will call the meeting to order. We have out of the 5 elected officials present, so I'll declare a quorum on that. Next item on the agenda is to set the agenda. We'll set the agenda as published if there's no objections. Hearing none, we have I'll say a short 57-page agenda. 4 items on consent, an item on unfinished, and 5 items under new business. If you would like to follow along here in the chamber, we have agendas in the wire baskets by the doors. You can also follow along online on the website. Our next item is our invocation and pledge. I'd like to recognize our fire chief, Chief Jamie Luffman, for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Thank you, sir. You please pray with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for caring about our lives. We thank you that we can talk to you about everything. Our city has lots to consider and lots of concerns, and we're bringing each one to you. Thank you for promising to give us peace. Dear Lord, we praise you and we love you being in our presence. Thank you for the sacrifice you made for your people on the cross. Thank you for helping our hearts to rest in your presence. In a busy world, it is here that we find truth, grace, and mercy. Our hearts are overwhelmingly grateful. They overflow with gratitude. May you continue to be present and continue to present opportunities for us to serve those in this blessed city. Dear Heavenly Father, please help this elected body, these city administrators and members of city staff to accept the challenges of representing and serving your people and accepting your restoring help with grace and gratitude. Help us to remember that no problem is too large or too small to call out to you. Please help us remember that a heart can be filled with joy every day, not just the good days. Please protect those that respond to protect us, both here and around the world. In Christ's name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. Next item is approval of minutes from the regular meeting on March 28th. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? I'll second. Any questions or corrections for the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes as published, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries. Next item on the agenda is our citizen comments. If you would like to make a comment before the Board of Commissioners, this is your one and only chance, most likely, to make a comment. This is the only time we open up the floor generally for comments. I'd ask for your name and address for the record. You'll be recognized for 3 minutes. We just ask that you keep the comments on to topics related to the city and not on individuals. And we have a familiar face at the podium right here, Commissioner Giles.
Art Giles, 1502 Post Oak Point. First of all, thank y'all for serving our city. And also thank you for the condolences that you extended to me when my mom passed away a few weeks ago. I appreciate it. And I can't not stand up here and say I didn't appreciate the prayer because, you know, I read something this week or someone was talking about some city where they couldn't do that. And thank God we still can do that. So I still appreciate it. I did when I was there, and I still do it as a citizen and a constituent out here. So I wanted to tell y'all just go over something real quick. I'm real excited tonight about something. Back in 2013, we started the BPAC, and you know the success that it's had. And when that occurred, we had a project that one of the it was an Eagle, an Eagle Scout project, and that was the Eagle Park down here. And they went through the BPAC to have that come to fruition there. One of the things that happened during that time was there was a donation from a company, and we couldn't accept that donation because we are part of the city. We're a committee of the city. We have obviously no power, but we're a committee of actually you, the BOC. And so that had to be run through 501c3 to be able to be used for that park. And so it got me thinking, and probably in 2017, we threw out the idea for Friends of Mount Juliet BPAC to be a 501c3 organization that could help assist. Obviously, in these situations, they could have put the money and run it through our account and be able then to apply those funds to whatever the projects that the city's working on, that whether the BPAC had a part of it or not. And then I started thinking, what would happen in the future if, and hopefully it would never happen, and I think that y'all are strong and supportive of the BPAC, that if something happened to it, a 501c3 that it stands alone would still be able to raise funds, at least for the city, and give on projects. One of the things that a lot of times when we're doing some of our activities, somebody will come up and say, we'd like to give some money. Well, always before we'd have to say, give it to the city, and we try to put it in the BPAC. So we got together and started looking at ideas on starting this Friends of Mount Juliet BPAC. And I want to thank the police explorers. They came and gave a presentation for us, how that they received their 501c3, and it was very, very helpful. It's not easy to do that. And so if some of you on the board will remember, I would give a report once in a while and say, we're still working on our Friends of Mount Juliet BPAC, because it's been a struggle. It's trying to get the 501c3 status. So, and then people's been really excited about not only the BPAC and that. We've got one member of the BPAC who they moved here from Chicago because we had a train, and we had a BPAC. So it's well known that when you have a BPAC, obviously you're very, very conscious, and you're very serious about green transportation and multimodal. And we were, and Kenny, I think you will remember this, we were downtown at a convention, and I had an insurance booth set up. But anyway, we had BPAC there because the table was so big, we had plenty of room. And someone came over from the health department. How long do I have? Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Well, let me just tell you why I'm here then. Besides all of that, I want to thank Malaley too. She does a great job on the BPAC. Finally, a few weeks ago, and I meant to come 2 weeks ago and I couldn't because I was out of town, we received our 501c3 status. And I hope that you share our enthusiasm with us, because we will be able to give back to the city from donations. We've already raised a few $1,000s, and we're going to continue to do that, and hopefully be able to apply for other grants when there's room to do that the regular BPAC could not. Sometimes you can only apply for 2. We could apply for the other one. Thank you all. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. I know a lot of work went into that. Vice Mayor.
And pardon me, I was playing with the dog, so I was a little late getting in here. But is it the BPAC committee itself that received the 501c3 status, or the Friends of the BPAC?
No, this is a total separate organization.
Okay.
And
All right.
and matter of fact, Commissioner Justice, I was thinking of you earlier today. if I may, if you allow me, or if you ask so many questions, let me say something about this too. What we're trying to do is to be able sometimes to put together sections that we didn't have. And if you remember, we had a grant, and you stepped up and got one of the contractors to come and put that section on Golden Bear over there. And I thought about that other day walking as well. And then when you get up there, there's not one. So it's things like that that we hope to help the city achieve. So thank you all again. I'm sorry I went over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else for citizen comments? All right, hearing none, we'll close citizen comments. We will move into commissioner report and comments. At this point, I'll recognize our District 2 Commissioner, Commissioner Trevette. Sir, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank all the folks that came out tonight, actually a little bit early, to go ahead and, join us for the sewer pocket plan. That was nice. Obviously, we're looking for next steps for our city. So that's always good there. Also, it was nice to see, just like the Vice Mayor stated, to hang out with some of the, I'd call it the cooler friends, which are the dogs from old friends from Senior Dog Sanctuary. So that was really nice. They're, like they just hit their 10-year anniversary. So I was excited to hang out with some of those nice little friends there. Would kind of like to highlight a few things this week that kind of passed out. Obviously, we had some nice guests come to our city. Governor Bill Lee visit Green Hills High School to go ahead and present an award to our Mount Juliet Middle School, Tyler Halstead, for the Milliken Educator Award. And he was able to hit $25,000, a check for that. That was nice. So that's just like a little highlight for our teachers as well as our city here. So that was really nice. Let's see here. Last I checked was we had 127 C-click fix. So that's always great to our neighbors, our community, for always seeing something, saying something. It's always good for all of us to be able to fix those potholes, those street signs, or any of the other problems that that we always experience. And thank you to the actual city that that comes up with the actual plan there to correct all these issues. Let's see here. We've got another few things here. Coffee with a police officer at Starbucks tomorrow. It's always a good way to get around our first responders. Talk to them about what's going on. It's at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Without being arrested. That's another way to look at the positivity. There we go. I like it. Yes, on the north end of town at 11309 Lebanon Road is, to be exact, on that address there. And that's Starbucks. Yes, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Yes. Thank you, Vice Mayor and Commissioner Mullally. All right. Also, it was so nice. So Saturday, I was actually hanging out at the Mount Juliet Elementary School. And it was kind of, it was a nice compliment, because there was a young lady there that was like, "Hey, aren't you Commissioner Bill Trevette?" And I said, "Yeah." And I'm thinking she's getting ready to yell at me, but it actually turned out that that she actually goes to Green Hills. Her teacher, Mr. Schaefer, assigned his students, 11th and 12th grade students, an assignment for our city officials, and they had to do a report on that. And I asked her a few questions and what she learned about it. And that's one thing. I mean, even with my daughter here, so I got my youngest daughter here tonight. She likes to attend to all these meetings. And it's always nice for our students to actually get involved with our city, our county, and our state, to understand how government works. For me, I came from a different school up north, and they didn't really teach a whole lot of that. So, but again, it was really nice to be able to see some of those students. I told her I'd give her a shout out to Leah Elakila, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. And then also last night I was heading up the street talking to another neighbor of ours, a neighbor of mine, Cheyenne Roop, also was assigned that same task. So it was kind of nice to be able to see some students there. Let's see here. I had one more item here. which it was just brought to me last. Rocky Lee, our parks director, he is actually working with Justin Beasley on a mission for our city to kind of put out there, which is the Veterans Memorial Wall. They're going to be doing a GoFundMe account, looking out there to try and hit $150,000 for the lighting project to be able to light that wall up for our veterans there. So I think it's a great cause. And obviously me and my family, we're going to be donating towards that. And I'm gonna do whatever I can to help them in saving and after we get the scope of work a little bit clearer. So Mayor, that concludes my report and thank you.
Thank you, sir. This time we'll recognize our commissioner from District 4, Commissioner Mullally.
All right. Just a few things. Talking about the C-Click fix, we've been advertising that for quite a while. Well, I actually submitted a call on it and it was an immediate response, immediately. It was about a signal and they took care of it right away. And early voting starts this Wednesday. I know a lot of people don't bother voting in local elections. They only vote in presidential elections, but it all starts at home. If you're not paying attention to your local government, you need to start doing that. Local elections are very, very important. BPAC, let's see. This month, the Monday night dinner walk started back. We meet at City Hall at 6. We walk somewhere to eat and then walk back. On May 1st at 2 o'clock at the train station parking lot, we have Ride Mount Juliet. You can ride your bicycle. It's a family event. It's free. There will be some drawings. And if you want to walk it, that's fine. Or even if you want to run it, that's fine too. But we'll meet at the train station parking lot, or go north to Woodridge and then circle back around and make a loop back around to the train station. It's about 5 or 6 miles. In May, the Monday night rides, which is hosted by BPAC, Velatiers, and Bikers Choice Community Bicycle Rides. That starts back on the 2nd of May through the warm weather. They meet at Charlie Daniels at right before 6:30 because that's when they leave at 6:30. It's open to the community. It's not really like a small kid event because it's like a 15-20 mile loop. And so that's every Monday starting in May. Then on June 28th, there's the Greenway Walk. That's on a Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, and we'll meet at the train station on East Division. And then we'll walk, I think it's the Town Center Trail. Hopefully the sewer will be done by then. Let's see. Been participating in some walk to school events, and want to thank all the volunteers with that, and BPAC members and the police department. They're always real good to help with that. Speaking of the memorial wall, I did buy my brick, and it is an engraved brick. You get 3 lines and you can have whatever you want on there. So I got mine. Prior to the next BLC meeting on April 25th at 5:15, we're having a work session to talk about the stormwater utility the city's going to be implementing. This will be the results from the study that they started last fall. So I'll be glad to hear the results from that. And then there's a work session on May 9th prior to that BLC meeting at 5:15. This will be a discussion only with the BLC to discuss food trucks / mobile cafe vendors here in the city limits. There will not be citizen comments. And I have a survey that I put out in the March newsletter that you need to take because we're gathering community feedback and business feedback prior to the meeting. JenniferMullally.com. If you open up March's newsletter, it's number, let's see, under upcoming, it's number 9. The survey is right there. So please take that. If you want that website again, just contact me and I'll give it to you. And that's all I had.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this point, we'll recognize our Vice Mayor and District 1 Commissioner Ray Justice.
Thank you, sir. We don't talk a lot about the county politics or the county commission up here because we have our own business to take care of. But one of the things I wanted to mention that I wanted to tell some folks about, I have a relative. Her name is Sonia Robinson, who serves on the Wilson County Commission. And Sonia, this time around, has decided not to run for county commission. And it's a shame that she's not running because of everything that she has done for Wilson County and the heart that she's got for the people of Wilson County, and specifically the Glade that she's represented for so many years. She is one of the kindest, sweetest, most wonderful people I have ever met in my life. And I say that she tried to flush me down the toilet when I was born. Okay. Fortunately, Mama called her. That never happened. Here I sit. So, but I can still say how sweet and wonderful that she is. And she is not running this time around. So in May, I think it is, somebody might help me out with that. I think in May they're having the Republican primary now. Is that right? And so, pretty much after that date, whoever gets elected in that district, I think in August they have the regular, right? So I guess in August, then she will no longer be the commissioner over there. And so I wanted to throw that out to her publicly. I'm blowing the mic up publicly. Let everybody know. And if you get an opportunity to say something to her about her commitment to Wilson County and what she's been able to accomplish in Wilson County. And we got a picture the other day where her son, Shane, who is a special agent in charge in Romania and of the embassy over there, and he was actually welcoming the vice president of the United States as she went to Romania. Whether you like her, whether you don't, it doesn't really make any difference. For a young man from Mount Juliet to be put in the position to welcome the vice president of the United States is something that can be very proud of. So good mom, good boys. Todd Dixon, her other son, right here locally, works his rear end off. Just a good kid, good family. They're my family, so I'll take that. I say that, and then I want to point something out, if I might, that I have seen Wilson County politics slowly go into our sewer system over the last few years, as we have people from the state that believe that the counties and the local governments need to be run like the state and federal governments are. And those mean-spirited politics aren't places that I want to be. I don't like when you talk ugly about President Biden. Do I agree with his politics? Absolutely not. But there's an office there. You know, a lot of people didn't agree with President Trump. Still an office there. Don't bring those nasty politics to Mount Juliet and Wilson County. Leave that in the federal government where they can get on Fox News and CNN and just go crazy and act stupid. We have enough stupidity going on in our communities without bringing the federal politics into them. That's ruining our city and ruining our culture. And I would appreciate it if you've got that's all you've got to talk about is bring the nastiness home. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it. Don't send me you little memes. I don't want to see those. It's a shame, but my sister is getting out of politics in Wilson County because of the meanness that is encroached in our community. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'll say, Commissioner Trevette, you mentioned Mr. Halsted, his award that he got, and we're all very proud of him. Actually, when he started with Wilson County Schools, and that's a little self-serving comment here, but he started at Lakeview Elementary, and I know the teacher very well who mentored him in his first year there. That would be my wife, Miss Tracy Manus. So they worked together. Both of my children had him, and went to school there with him. I think my youngest daughter was on the tennis team. So a lot of connections there, and we're very proud of him, very proud of the school systems, and very proud of everything that represents and the recognition that it brings to our county and our school systems. I'd like to also mention we just recently, as in last week, we had a meeting here at West Elementary, which was the county land use plan. It's not the city land use plan, but the county land use plan. And it's so important when these types of things come around. Eventually, we will have a new city land use plan discussion at some point. And, you know, the same people, the same input that we seek from the citizens about how we're trying to do that, the county's now seeking now, and it's not too late to provide your input on that. So the county planning department has that working in the works right now. I know it was mentioned that early voting starts on Wednesday. That one of the early voting sites is going to be Charlie Daniels Park. This is actually the county primary election. So those county offices, and the reason that's so important is some of these races that we find in the county primary, whoever wins this primary seat will go unopposed on the August in the general election. So if you want any say whatsoever in some of these races, you need to get out there and do your civic duty during this primary race, because it is coming up. It's starting Wednesday, and that will go for 15 days, excluding the Sundays that it lands on. And of course, on May 3rd, the election will fall on that date. I also thank the Parks Department. I know the Police Department was involved as well, and probably many others on it. They had the same day as the county land use plan meeting, but they had a meeting there, or I guess an event would be a better way to say it, at Charlie Daniels Park. They had the special needs Easter egg hunt. And I can tell you that was just a wonderful event to attend, see all the hard work that staff and that put into that, and just really a wonderful event that they did and put that on. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. You know, we sometimes think of Mount Juliet as a small city, and, you know, sometimes even said it's a suburb of Nashville, you know, almost as if this town doesn't have a lot of influence, or it's just something that kind of hangs out there that we call home. But sometimes we also overlook and we forget what influence we have here locally with some of the services that we provide. I'm thinking specifically of our fire department. I'm sure there is a count. I don't know what it is, how many mutual aid calls that the fire department has gone out to help our county fire department and the services. But one here recently that was called upon was the fires out in East Tennessee that they responded to. And this is the second time this fire department, less than 10 years in age, I think we're coming up 9th anniversary. Yep, 9th anniversary is coming up here in a few months. This fire department is small, but we're seeing the influence of this thing that is reaching well beyond the Middle Tennessee area out here and helping others, protecting property and lives on that. So wonderful job, Chief. Wonderful representation of the city of Mount Juliet. And I thank everybody out there that's been a part of that and backed them over the years. And of course, the people, you as the taxpayers who ultimately pay that fee, you're not just insuring your city, but it's going well beyond the city limits of the city of Mount Juliet with that influence on that forest protection that's providing. And I know a lot of grateful people out there that are in the path of a wildfire out there. We're happy to see all the help they could get. Kind of reminds me of a couple of years ago when we had the tornado here, and it just, you know, like I've said it many times, but you'll never know what it meant to see those other municipalities and counties show up out there, and what for many is the darkest hour that they're going to see, you know, when it comes to events like that. So it means so much to see them there. That's going to conclude my comments, and at this point, I'm going to recognize our city manager for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Thanks for everybody that's come tonight. For those watching at home, I want to echo the sentiments of the mayor and say that when the fire chief approached myself and the elected body without hesitation, myself and the elected body, of course, said absolutely. We did get a lot of support from multiple cities across the state of Tennessee on March 3rd. And I want to thank the elected body and the citizens for giving us the resources we need to be able to do things like that for communities in need when they arise. So very proud of our fire department and our city as a whole. I also like to give a shout out to our employees, our entire staff, and our elected body for everything that you do every day to make Mount Juliet such a wonderful place to live and reside. We take great pride in that, and I know they take great pride in that as well, because we get the opportunity to see it every day. And I know sometimes it can be easy to take that for granted, but when you see things going on across the country in this great world, it makes you realize just how blessed you are when you come into Mount Juliet, Tennessee. So thank you to the team, and thank you for our citizens for the partnership they have with us. I want to give a shout out to a young man, not sure where he's from. I believe he's from Mount Juliet, Mr. Adam Brown in the back. was a local Mount Juliet resident. He is now attending Middle Tennessee State University. If you notice the last few meetings, we've had a lot of these young men and women show up at our meetings as part of their class assignments. We always take time to get to know them a little bit and introduce them. Nice strapping lad, as I said to the last young man that was here. So Tennessee's making some wonderful young folks. They're going to be future leaders. And I just want to give him a shout out for the great work he's doing for his class project. And I want to tell you how proud we are of you, watching you grow up in this community and now what you've got as far as your future. Another thing is Father Carras with the Coptic Church here in Mount Juliet was here today. They're having Holy Week coming up, which will start this Friday. They'll have a 7-day run there doing that down on Woodland Place. And he wanted to say just how thankful he was. They're building 3 buildings here in the city of Mount Juliet. I think it's their 7th or 8th location in Middle Tennessee. And he just bragged upon this community and how welcome they've been and this team here at the city. So he was here today and very, very proud to see that coming about. And then last but not least, I'd like to give a shout out to our local businesses, because without them, there wouldn't, be the resources that we've got coming to our city with sales tax revenues, things of that nature. And there's businesses daily, for example, like the paper mill will be going in the old Courtney's restaurant. And you have businesses open up daily to where there's mom and pop operations, that may open a Chipotle or say whatever it may be, that are looking at Mount Juliet, Tennessee and making these huge investments in what could be a difficult time to open a business, but they don't hesitate to do that in Mount Juliet because of the culture that we have going here. So I want to encourage our residents and the people out there listening to please continue to shop locally and support your local businesses, in particular your mom and pop businesses. So we appreciate them. We appreciate the partnership we have with them and the support of this elected body, and seeing that they're fruitful going forward in all their endeavors. And Mayor and Commissioner, I appreciate the opportunity to get to speak, and that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you, sir. With that, we will move into our business portion of the agenda. I'd ask all elected officials, make sure their mics are close if you want your quotes correctly in the paper. Our first item up is our consent agenda. We have 4 items on consent. I will read these 4 in for the record. 9.1 is an ordinance to approve the request to connect to the Mount Juliet sewer system made by 2770 Nonneville outside the city limits of Mount Juliet, identified as Wilson County, Tennessee, map 31, parcel 84, 85, and 86. 9.2 is an ordinance to rezone property known as 45 East Caldwell Street, map 721, parcel 4, from RS40 to single-family residential to CTC Commercial Town Center. The third item, the City of Mount Juliet Board of Commissioners desires to clarify the official city holidays. And then 9.4, an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget ordinance 2021-19 to accept proceeds from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, and to appropriate the funds for the replacement of parks, supplies, and equipment lost and damages by the March 28, 2001 flood event. Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor of the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye. Aye. That carries, passes by all 4 members of the body. Next item on the agenda is 10.1. An ordinance approving the request to connect to the Mount Juliet sewer system made by 1340 Northwest Rutland Road outside the city limits of Mount Juliet, Tennessee, identified as Wilson County map 77, parcel 56.03. Have a motion and a second. The item is on the floor. Any discussion on this? Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Is the gentleman here that I spoke with? I talked to this gentleman and I told him some of my concerns, and I believe they're legitimate concerns in that we keep creating these donut holes in the city. We just got through with the map here. How many areas did we note that were created early on that we've been trying to fix? And here we are by not annexing by request. We're creating more new donut holes. Now, he's got an issue that is specific, that he is not contiguous with the city, but we do understand that we can still annex him. He's trying to build a house, and because this is kind of drawn on as long as it has, I mean, if we have to go through the annexation process and somebody, could that be affected tonight?
Well, we're on first reading right now, so
So I guess my question is, could we change that, or is that too significant a change to?
to annex them
Correct.
tonight, I think that has to go through planning commission. It'd have to go back, I think.
Do what?
Sorry.
I don't think he doesn't not want to be annexed. He established some concerns that he's got that were, I think, valid concerns in that there's one house that would be getting city services, where the others have already been given out of city sewer in the past. So I mean, he's got some valid concerns there. My concerns are as valid as well, and that I just hate to create that other donut hole. But I mean, at some point we're going to have to put our foot down and say yay or nay, or we're going to do it or we're not going to do it, and come up with a policy that regulates our decisions as opposed to just basing it on one particular house. I hate to do this to him, given their circumstances. So and now she's got her lip stuck out. I can't do it now. So.
Our city manager's got something he wants to add.
Mayor, if it's elected body's desire, we could get them on the planning commission for this month, have first reading tonight, and then have second reading to follow the planning commission. And that's usually third week in April. So it's coming up.
April 21st for the planning commission and second reading for the board of commissioners to be May 9th.
That would help expedite it.
Well, that would take care of sewer, but are you talking about doing the annexation first reading tonight?
If we just do outside city sewer, it doesn't have to go back to the planning commission, and second reading could be April
Annexation.
25th.
For the commission, if we did annexation, then they're automatic, the out-of-city sewer goes off the table.
Well, that is very true.
So they would be automatically granted. We would just have to have the plan of services attached.
Not a bad idea.
I think I kind of heard what was said. I mean,
Well, what we do is we'll go ahead and grant the out of city sewer, and we come back and annex afterwards. That way, you expediting your access to sewer.
Yeah, he agrees.
Basically conditional.
Yeah, the only difference is you're going to have to go to your next door neighbor's yard to shoot your guns. Okay, I mean that's it.
Commissioner Mullally has got something she wishes to add.
I might be mistaken, but didn't we give an out of city also on the same road a while back?
Yes, ma'am. I raised the same objections at that time. By the way, Mayor, we had to come up with a policy. We had to come up with it. Commissioner Giles is here tonight, and I think he will remember he and I actually were on the same page at one point going, we got to come up with a policy, but that policy still hadn't.
It's been, yeah, and I know I discussed it one time. It was, you could have out of city sewer, but it was contingent upon agreeing to annexation at a future date if it was continuous with the city or made sense. But that opened up a whole new can of worms, and I thought that was a compromise, but it seemed to be.
Government and common sense? Is that okay?
So yes, I mean, it's been a mixed bag all down through there, but we know it's a problem that either we will handle or somebody will handle in the future.
Because I wouldn't want to do a forced annexation.
Well, we don't have that option.
That's not legal, so we can't force annexation.
So, I mean,
So at that point, I mean, the only thing here is if he said, no, I don't want to be annexed, we're pretty much done. You stick a fork in our tail, Christmas turkey time. So,
okay.
Just come up. Name and address for the record, please.
Daniel Simmons, 526 Summit Way. Well, yeah, 1340. That too.
And the question, I think the driving question is the question of annexation. I mean, is that something you would consider?
And I prefer not because I don't want to be the only guy on the street that's annexed. But I mean, if I had to go that route, I would. But Like I said, I just don't want to be that guy on the street. So
But you would.
maybe. So
Yeah, you really would. I heard her say that.
Yeah.
Yes, you would.
I've been there. I know what that means.
Yeah.
Right. Any other questions for the applicant?
Can I ask us that we, let's go ahead and vote on this and get this man where he needs to be and have a policy within the next 30 days of what we're going to do so that we don't have this coming back up and everybody sitting up here wavering based on absolutely no data whatsoever. I mean, right now there's no policy that indicates what we should or should not do. And it comes down to, well, what's your gut say, what's your conscience say? So, and we've got your wife sitting over there with her lip stuck out on the bottom, which means
she's ready to build.
there you go. So,
Yeah, we want to look for a path forward here for you. So
Yeah.
whatever it's, and I agree. We've got little to no risk here tonight to pass this on first reading, none at all. And if you want to pursue annexation, I think we just asked to start that ball rolling. I think before the next meeting. So we can get
yeah, I
this
think
closed.
with the time frame, the problem that we get into is, like he said, he's worried about being the one person on the entire street with sewer and then being in the city limits and everybody else not, and he's going to be the bad guy. So I told him the other day on the telephone, I don't mind being the bad guy. It's okay.
We won't tell anybody.
But I'll be living there.
There is that.
Yeah.
We may have to borrow sugar.
Well, this is going to have to skip a meeting, isn't it, for this
No.
the sewer request? Okay, so it does not. Okay.
I want it to be annexed, honestly. We need to start that policy if we're going to do it.
So he needs to contact the planning department before second reading. That's what you're saying,
Yes.
which is.
Your microphone is somewhere.
Over there.
It's over there. She's not paying any attention. Talk to the microphone. Tomato can.
That he need to be on.
Can he be on the May one?
We can ask that he put it on it.
Second reading.
Yeah, we can expedite it, right?
Yes.
So basically what we're saying is we change it to an annexation process tonight. Go to the planning commission on the 21st, on the 25th, it comes back.
Voting on it for Anna City Sewer tonight.
Well, we're changing that.
I don't.
Somebody's got to make a motion.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we change this to annexation.
I'll second. I'd ask the city attorney.
It would be to grant the request contingent upon
Annexation.
annexation, and then
They
the
don't need the
request disappears if he's annexed.
Okay.
So it becomes an automatic at that point.
And then
Nothing
that
else.
way, but it's got to go, if that goes to the planning commission on second reading, does it have to skip the next meeting here at the BOC or can it go on?
Then it'll fall naturally for May 9th.
Gotcha.
We can't get it on the 25th.
No, because it has to go to the planning commission.
But the
And its
planning commission's on the
annexation has to
21st.
skip a meeting because we have to notify all the adjoining property owners via certified mail by state law between 15 and 30 days. I don't have 15 days between tonight and the 25th to get certified mail out.
2 weeks.
Okay.
It's a timing thing
Yeah.
in a state law.
But we can get them on your lights on your phone. Chill. But we can get them on the planning commission on the 21st, great. Just want to make sure of that.
Yes.
All right. City manager says yes.
Okay, then that would be my motion.
Okay. And I second the motion. Commissioner Mullally.
Well, I don't feel comfortable with it because I feel like they're kind of being backed in a corner. I would only feel okay with it if they're both on board. Obviously, she is, and you're not really there.
I'm okay with it. I just prefer to be out of county,
Let me just say,
out of city sewer, excuse me.
this is our thing. We've lived in the Donaldson area, the Mount Juliet area for years. And the thing is this, this guy is like the neighbor that will do anything for you. He will sacrifice even for his own family, for his neighbor. And so that's the thing. We want to be good to our neighbors. We don't want there to be an issue. We are living in a rental home with 2 kids, and I am ready to start building my dream home that I've been dreaming about since I was, 15 years old. So that's where I'm like, my thing is, if I say, yes, I'm willing to eventually be annexed, I'm going to stand by my word, and so is he. We're just trying to be upfront and honest. It's not what we want. We've made that clear. But if we tell you we're going to do it, then we're going to stand up to our word. This has been an ongoing process, and we just want to build our home. I mean,
So even if we didn't annex, that would not hold you up,
They wouldn't,
right? I mean, if
they
you got
wouldn't have
the,
sewer if
Mhm.
we don't grant the out of sewer request, they would have no sewer.
no, I mean, if we gave them what they want with the out of city
If
sewer.
we did that would not hold it up.
we would be starting next week. I mean, it's just like,
That's what we'll do, so.
we just want to raise our family and be good citizens and good neighbors.
Because otherwise, if we do go the annexation route, we got to wait for the planning commission and all that. And that's going to delay.
Another month, I guess, right? 'Cause
Yeah, the way prices are changing every day, I just like, every day counts. So
Yeah.
Well, you would be, this is first reading on your out of city sewer. So this would be coming back for another reading before it takes place. So either way, it's 2 weeks out. So it'd be pushed out another 2 weeks essentially.
Worst case scenario is 14 days.
Yeah, I think my math is correct on that.
And Mayor, if I may, I've heard this question asked here, and I've actually heard it asked, what in the world is so bad about being in the city of Mount Juliet? It ain't that bad. I promise you. We're actually kind of cool place to be.
A great
like I
police
said, my
department.
thing, I just don't want to be that guy on the street, you know what I mean?
Don't worry about them people.
I mean,
Yeah, we got to start somewhere and tag you're it, I guess, is what it looks
I don't
like.
They'd be envious. They'd be envious.
City attorney,
Oh, I'm
you good?
happy. I'm-
All right. Happiness all around. All right, we have a motion to amend this contingent, change it to contingent upon annexation.
Correct.
All right, and that's got a second. So that's what's on the table right now. Is any other discussion on this before we vote on that change?
What are we voting on? Because we did make a motion to amend it, to change this to an annexation ordinance.
Correct.
Motion to grant the out-of-city sewer contingent upon it being
Annexation.
annexed. And then when it's annexed, he automatically gets the sewer.
Yeah, the out of city part goes away.
Correct.
Yeah, it's the same item.
Basically, we're saying we're going to give you sewer. And we're taking a 100% surcharge off of you. So you don't have to pay the 100% surcharge on that bill. See if the county can do that for you.
All right, any other discussion on the amendment? All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That carries. Okay, we've got the change in place. Any other discussion on the ordinance as once amended? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That carries as well. So this passes on first reading, and it will be going to the Planning Commission for the annexation.
That's on the 21st,
The
right?
21st of April. I'm seeing a lot of head shakes up and down, so we're going to go with 21st.
Okay.
And that is the third Thursday. All right, our next item is under our new business, which is 12.1, an ordinance to waive certain building fees for the building permits, building plan reviews, plumbing fixture fees, and plumbing permit fees in construction of the Operation Homefront House being built in Walton's Grove for a military service member and family or wounded warrior.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and second. I think our city manager wants to be recognized on this.
Mayor, I want to give the elected body a very big shout out. This is something the city's participated in for years in various subdivisions throughout Mount Juliet. So I want to thank each of you for stepping up and your willingness to do this and support this program right in our own community. So thank you.
All right. All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. First reading. Next item is ordinance 12-2, review. It says review the 258 West Street right-of-way abandonment. Are we doing a review or actually abandoning? Okay. Yeah, West Division Street, yes. I'll make a motion for that. Is there a second? Second. All right. Any other questions or discussions on this one? All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Carries on first reading. 12-3, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2021-22 budget ordinance 2021-19 to appropriate funds for the city's 50th anniversary event scheduled for July 16, 2022.
Motion.
A motion and a second. Let's see, who wants to speak to this? Or we got two sponsors. Vice Mayor.
This, what we're doing here, there is, in the budget, there is an anticipated $50,000, I think it was going. There are some of the expenditures that are going to have to be in this year's budget as opposed to the following. There's an event coming up, and I'll let Rocky, where I think, is he here? We'll talk about that a little bit. And this is an event that will happen one time in our history. It is the 50th anniversary of the city of Mount Juliet being created. It's only one. So they have a by 50th maybe in 50 years, but we're not going to be here. So, but I'll let Rocky talk to what we're doing.
Yeah, we're trying to put together an event worthy of the 50th anniversary of City of Mount Juliet. And we've been looking in, and to do that, we played with this one time before by bringing in a headliner. And we've made contact with a headliner so far. And to get a headliner in here to take care of it that day, it's going to cost us at least $15,000 for that. Then to get our sound and stuff set up is another $4 or $5. And the time we get everything done, it's going to be an event that's going to be on July 16th is what we're hoping for if we get the money. It'll be July 16th from probably 5 to 9. It'll culminate with fireworks at the end, just some small fireworks and stuff. But we want to put something together that's going to be for every citizen in the area. We want it to be for the 2-year-olds to the 92-year-olds. We want everybody to have something to do. We're going to have the whole park busy and jumping that day. That's our plan. We haven't had anything really in stone yet because we got some contracts to sign. And the reason we're looking for this amendment is we got to start signing artists now and bringing people in and signing up special activities and stuff, which, as you know, everything costs a fortune now. But we just want to have that one time. Like you said, it's our 50th anniversary. And we want to blow it out. And hopefully, if you're on board with us, it'll be worthy. Well, the stink out, Mayor.
Any other questions or comments on this? All ready to vote? All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you July 16th. We're going to need judges. And we're going to need participants. So be seen. There's going to be a Dunkin' booth there also, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, Mr. Trevette, Ms. Mullally. I've already got your time slotted, so we'll be in touch.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, Kenny Martin.
Yeah. All right. Next item under resolutions is 12-4. A resolution of the City of Mount Juliet to amend the fees and charges by the Mount Juliet Parks Board and Recreations Department for nonprofits. Got a motion and a second. This is under our city manager's sponsorship.
I want to thank you again. This is basically to support and assist the nonprofits in Mount Juliet by charging them a a lower price. Most of the work, of course, they do in the fundraising goes right back to the uses that they give back to the community. So thank you again. And I'm pretty sure you got anything else to add to that?
Exactly what is on, it's spot on. We got a few places, if you look, where we've been charging for the full day, and we're breaking it down in 4-hour blocks. A lot of time when somebody needs something, they don't really need it for 12-hour slot that we've been charging. So we moved some of them into 4-hour blocks, but we're trying to make it possible where churches and schools and nonprofits could come in for a slight, a little less than what we've been charging everybody else.
Awesome.
All right. All right. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Last item on the agenda is 12.5, a resolution requesting that the fire chief and deputy fire chief negotiate an interlocal agreement between Vanderbilt Lifeline Ground EMS Transport and the city of Mount Juliet for ambulance service inside the city of Mount Juliet for the times that WEMA ambulances are not available and to bring the interlocal agreement back to the Board of Commissioners for final approval.
Motion.
Have a motion and a second. The item is on the table. Any questions, comments on this? Commissioner Trevette?
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been working on this with the fire department. Thank you for taking care of our city, looking out for the best interest of our citizens, and just keep continuing on with the great work that you guys do each and every day. Thank you.
You got good, really good men and women down there doing the job, and even like mentioned earlier, we protect those 3 flags.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that carries. With that, our next item on the agenda is adjournment.
The packets will be going out Thursday, and she was wondering if this annexation could wait to the May PC meeting.
I think we just committed to them that we would have it done.
I told her I would ask.
All right. Our last item on the agenda is our adjournment. Is there a motion?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye. All right. Thank you, everyone.